We welcome you in Ann Arbor, where Houston Baptist from the Southland Conference will challenge Michigan of the Big Ten. Part of the Jimmy V Week for Cancer Research on ESPN as we continue our commitment to the V Foundation and Jim Valvano's dream to defeat cancer. From the Chrysler Center, Brooke Weisbrod, Lisa Byington with you. We get to see one of the best players in the country in Michigan's Karis LeVert. He showed a little bit of his versatility in the last game against NC State.
A near triple-double, and it was his energy that was one of the biggest difference makers in that game. He was active, getting deflections. He was out running the lanes, and then he was finishing on dunks. I mean, these were two of Michigan's, or four, I should say, of Michigan's 28 points in the paint. And Karis LeVert has that kind of talent. He's a senior, he's got to finesse it, but yes, Lisa, one of the best players in the country, definitely talking about Karis LeVert.
He will have the lead guard responsibilities here today. No Derek Walton Jr. from Michigan out with the ankle injury. That means Muhammad Ali Abdul-Rahman gets his first start this year in Walton's place. As for Houston Baptist, keep an eye on Anthony Odunsi, their leading scorer. He's coming off a career-high game, 26 points against Rice. That was just the second win of the season for Houston Baptist. Second meeting between these two teams since 2013. That meeting ended in a 107-53 final, going Michigan's way, a 54-point victory for the Wolverines.
But at the start of the game, Houston Baptist goes 7 for 7. They're down 11 points at that time, and then you shoot over 50% and you're down 26 at the half. What are you supposed to do? It's Michigan's strongest team in that 2013 team.
Down low to Josh Ibarra. The putback. Second attempt won't fall for Lasher.
Michigan going to be very patient on the offensive end. It's about spacing, passing, hitting the next open guy. And when you can take your opportunities to attack, you do that. And Karis LeVert already showing some patience and that strength, carrying a defender all the way on his hip and his shoulder and able to finish the play.
First two for Michigan. He's coming off an 18 points, 7 assists, 9 rebound performance against NC State. A win in the Big Ten ACC Challenge. The kick out to Stickler and the turnover for Houston Baptist. The Huskies, run by Ron Cottrell, in the 8th longest tenure among active NCAA Division I men's head basketball coaches. A graduate of Arkansas, a Nolan Richardson student. Huskies can't pull it down. Michigan will get it out from underneath.
It's hard to shake off those early jitters when you're playing a team like Michigan who comes in strong and is finally home for the first time in a few weeks.
John Beilein in his 9th season at Michigan. You see his record there. He was concerned about a slow start here for the Wolverines. He said it's been their Achilles heel all season long. Not a slow start. Karis LeVert answering that question.
We're talking with John Beilein about getting those quick starts and having to hit every shot. He says he doesn't panic. And this is a team of scorers. You've got your bigs that can step out and hit threes. You've got your 1 through 4 guys who can get to the rim. So it's not necessarily you're worried about the type of shots you're taking. You just have to keep that aggressive mindset. You know, a lot for Michigan too. It starts on the defensive end. And Karis LeVert, the inbound, the screen. All he needs is just a second to get open, and his hands are ready, his feet are ready.
Stickler from the baseline is short, and LeVert with the board. Two shots taken, 2 shots made for LeVert. This is Dawkins for 2.
Wolverines using that weave offense very effectively here in the first half. They're able to turn the corner. Houston Baptist has got to do a better job of trying to cut off the middle. And keep those offensive players to one side of the floor, and at least you can get some help. When they go middle, all options are open.
Coulter Lasher with the miss for Houston Baptist. Michigan out to a 7-0 lead. LeVert, his first miss of the afternoon. Another turnover for the Huskies. That's their second.
And that's another way Karis LeVert affects the game. He was able to get just a fingertip on that ball to create the turnover. You don't see him coming because he does such a great job at that jab help defense, help and recover.
Down to Dawkins again, draws the foul. He'll get a chance at the line.
Nice pass on the inside to Aubrey Dawkins. He's going to pick up the foul and head to the free throw line. But Michigan getting to the interior, that paint. Nice 1-2 dribble and that floater step back. They make it look so easy. Houston Baptist needs to get way more aggressive here on defense. You talk about wanting a good start. And Ron Contrell telling us yesterday, of course, 2 years ago, going 7 for 7 to start the game, looking up, and you're already down 11. You have to be so hyped coming in to play this team that you have to be willing to get outside of yourself. And it starts defensively, and if Houston Baptist isn't more aggressive here, this is going to get out of hand really quickly.
Yeah, you said we got to figure out a way to make some stops. The difference 2 years ago, hey, we were hitting 2s. Michigan was hitting 3s. They shot over 50% in that first half, and we're still down by double figures. Michigan off and running. Abdur-Rahman with the finish.
Abdur-Rahman had a terrific defensive game against NC State. He held Pat Barber to just 6 second-half points, and he was the first name from Coach Beilein talking about that win over NC State. And it is full cylinders for this Michigan basketball team this year. I know these fans love it. It's full go, but it's not out of hand. There's the run out if you've got it, and there's the spacing and defense and the discipline on offense if you don't.
Ron Contrell had to call a 30-second timeout. How about this? 6 possessions for the Huskies, 3 turnovers, 0 for 4 shooting.
Well, part of the problem is I think 2 of those turnovers coming from guys driving, and then they jump and they look up and they see nothing but white jerseys. You better have a pretty good hang time if you want to look through your options and see where you can make a pass. The coaches will tell you, get down there, don't get in trouble, don't pick up your dribble in the corner, and don't jump before you pass.
This is a guarantee game for Houston Baptist, but it's also an experience game from them. Ron Cottrell said, hey, even if we didn't have guarantee games, we would try to schedule something like this.
But it's nice to get paid a little bit of money. Doesn't hurt.
Money never hurts. Down low to Ibarra. Can't put it away. The foul on Aubrey Dawkins. That is his first. Well, Houston Baptist has looked inside a couple of times to Ibarra. Could be an all-conference player for the Huskies. Haven't put it away. Baptist still looking for their first points. They get it off the glass from Stickler.
That's Stickler's first points in 3 games. He's gone 0 for his last 15. He's got to feel good getting that off his chest. And of course, you mentioned getting the ball down into Ibarra. He had a nice showing against Rice. 10 points in 14 minutes. That's some efficient basketball.
Chukwu whistled for the foul. He's getting the start for the 2nd straight game for Houston Baptist. The Huskies have changed up their starting lineup a little bit. Chukwu is a guard who can actually rebound real well for Houston Baptist. Odunse with the board. Odunse will take it. And an offensive foul called on Houston Baptist.
In transition, not under control. Here's Odunse taking off again, getting caught up in the air. Terrific charge. Way to put his body on the line for Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman.
One of the rule changes this year, the restricted area extended out in the men's game. That is now the 4th turnover for the Huskies. Doyle with a lefty hook, in and out. Again, Ibarra can't connect. Dawkins on the take, and he shuffled his feet. Aubrey Dawkins was looking for a little bit of help. Couldn't find it. It'll be Houston Baptist basketball when we come back. The only 2 coming from Jordan Stickler.
It's still finger-licking good.
Michigan out to a fast start here at the Chrysler Center. 11-2 over Houston Baptist, an academically driven small private school about enrollment just over 3,100. They just recently switched over from the NAIA to the NCAA. It was actually a move that Ron Cottrell was heavily involved with. He was the athletic director at the time. The school got a new president coming from Baylor. They felt like this would be the best situation for the school, so they made the switch. And because of the switch, he's actually had to switch up the kind of player that he's recruited and the style of play that they play.
Well, what was interesting about that is, as you asked him, you know, a lot about his offense, and he said, oh, you don't know? I run Beeline's offense. I called him when I was trying to figure out what offense to establish here at Houston Baptist, and both of us looked at each other like, you gotta be kidding me. And it was just an interesting story because he talks about, hey, we can't keep up with a fast style type of play. We've gotta go deliberate. We've gotta go half court. Terrific move to the rim there from Odunsi. This is a team that has to be more deliberate and very disciplined in their offense, and John Beeline's system works very well for Ron Cottrell.
So if it looks a little bit similar on offense, now you know why. Houston Baptist taking clips all the way back from John Beeline's years at West Virginia. They broke down about 10,000 clips from West Virginia and Michigan. Best form of flattery is imitation. 5 on the shot clock. Levert has got to hustle on the left side, no problem.
That's an NBA move right there. Now, not quite playing against NBA type level talent, however, able to keep that crossover, the hesitation up, stick with the play, and finish with that gliding move. And a nice answer back from Houston Baptist. Getting on the scoreboard here. Again, I believe that was Stickler with the bucket.
Stickler 4 of 6 for Houston Baptist. Karis LeVert started this game hitting his first 2 shots. He's got 7 now. Mo Wagner into the game for Michigan off the bench. Again, shot clock down to 4. LeVert this time on the left side draws the foul.
Looks like he got hit from Josh Ybarra just at that last moment before he released the basketball. Take another look at this. Very similar move to what we saw before from LeVert. See that hesitation as if he's going to go right. Comes back, continues his move left, and Ybarra gets him with the body.
That's the second for Ybarra. So now Houston Baptist might have to go small. Ybarra most likely, and he is going to take a seat. Cody Stetler, normally a 6'9" forward who would come in as a sub, out today because of a right foot injury that he suffered in the second half against Rice.
It's not the type of game where not the type of game you want your big guys on the bench. And a 6'9", 235-pounder in Stetler would go very well in this game. LeVert going to take a seat. Stetler put up 16 against Rice.
So Isaiah Robinson, number 33 in for Houston Baptist. He'll get a lot of the minutes that Cody Stetler would get. Coulter Lasher in trouble. Drives, draws some contact, no call. It'll be Michigan basketball. Spike Albrecht into the game for Michigan, as is Duncan Robinson. John Beilein telling us that Spike Albrecht might play up to as many as 20 minutes here this afternoon. Again, Derek Walton Jr. dressed but didn't warm up. He's not going to play for the Wolverines today.
Walton Jr. sprained his ankle in the NC State game. As we have a ball will be headed the other way. And we've got Spike Albrecht, who's continuing rehab from surgery on both of his hips. So 2 of your point guards right there injured. And for Karis LeVert to then step up and say, you know, I'd like to be more of an assist man this year. Well, how well does that work into the game plan for John Beilein? But Adore Rockman, another option at the point guard spot.
Trey Patterson, number 10, into the game for Houston Baptist, an athlete. That one in and out. The Huskies continue to struggle. 30% shooting so far here in this first half. Irvin down low to Wilson. Wilson off the glass and in.
He's got a nice finesse aspect to his game. A freshman out of Sacramento. And huge upside. like that nice soft touch. It was the catch, and he didn't force the play. That's what I liked about him. He was given what the defense gave him. That's what he took. And he could have finished middle, but instead, that nice quick turnaround, easy bucket off the glass.
11-point advantage ties the largest lead here for Michigan.
I'm not really feeling the defense from Houston Baptist right now. They need to get way more aggressive. Like, I want to see them get mad. I'm not seeing a team that's mad. If you're on the road playing Michigan, you need to get mad.
A hand in the face there on Duncan Robinson, making his first attempt a tough one. Houston Baptist playing its 5th game in 9 days. Michigan has been on the road for the last 4.
It's tough to grind it out these December times, the games, the non-conference, the travel, knowing you've still got a lot of classwork left. It's definitely a grind, but we've got a good one so far here. Michigan.
Connecticut, 3rd-ranked Notre Dame will meet #1 UConn in the Jimmy V Women's Classic, presented by Corona. That's later today on ESPN, also streaming live on Watch ESPN. How cute is she?
I'm gonna have to burn up the data on my phone because I'll be driving back to Chicago. I can't get that game, you know. Got to put it on the phone. That's why there's ESPN.
It should be a good one. Hey, help us beat cancer. Log on to www.jimmyv.org or call 1-800-4JIMMY-V to donate. All donations benefit the V Foundation for Cancer Research. I actually, this morning, Brooke Weisgrove,
yes,
I tuned into and logged on to the Jimmy V speech, the Don't Ever Give Up speech, just to get a little bit motivated.
Is that why you came in here so like ready to do this game? I knew there was something about you.
That's why I did my 94 feet sprints. Yep, from baseline to baseline. That was why.
That's what's up.
Now you know my secret. 17-6, Michigan leading Houston Baptist. Huskies have struggled shooting. 3 of 11 so far in the first half. Down low, the first look for Robinson.
Nice finish from Robinson, and that was all Michigan. Mark Donald taking the risk. Come up on that high zone. Good recognition by Houston Baptist to get that bounce pass into the paint.
Isaiah Robinson, the son of Clifford Robinson, an NBA All-Star, all-defensive team. He challenges that shot, made it tough for Abdur Rahman.
Nice setup, that pass from Chukwujewu. Finish for Houston Baptist. Got to see more of those, and I think Michigan playing a zone. You won't see them in here for that long. I think they'll eventually go back man-to-man. But it's all about aggressiveness. The more aggressive you are, the more likely good things are going to happen for your team.
Cameron Chapman into the game for the first time for Michigan. This is on his first attempt. Into the corner for Alex Fountain, down low. Chukwujewu can't put it away. Michigan trying to run. Out to Robinson, you cannot leave him open. Duncan Robinson coming off of back-to-back double-figure scoring games. And the foul on Chapman on that possession.
Duncan Robinson is going to be a star. By the time March hits, a lot of people will know this man's name. He's Michigan's 6-man guy, but when he shoots, he's fun to watch. He's not just a three-point shooter, but he's got this spirit about him. He was a D3 star, made his way here to Michigan, came from Williams College, where he was the all-Final Four team there. So if you can play under the bright lights, as John Beilein says, you can do it at Division III, you can do it at Division I.
6 turnover for Houston Baptist. All the research that's been done, no one has been able to find a story like Duncan Robinson's. The journey from D3 and getting a scholarship to be a Division I player. Mark Donald will take a seat, so will Chapman. Michigan answered John Beilein's question about having a slow start. They started 3 of 4, but they have tapered off a little bit since, now shooting 3 of 10 since that start.
And I like how Houston Baptist is being more active. You see them stretching out beyond the three-point line. The legs are down, the stance is there, the focus.
7 on the shot clock. Abdur Rahman. Doyle with the putback in the cleanup job.
And Ricky Doyle has nice footwork. He understands his movement as a post. Actually, he's got a really successful background in swimming, which is going to certainly help his endurance throughout the game, but a lot of that times it helps you see things differently.
Here goes tip pass, look out, here comes Karis LeVert. LeVert now in double figures with 11. John Beilein says he's been playing the best basketball, perhaps, of his career here at Michigan. The deep attempt, Asa Cantwell. And Houston Baptist needed that badly.
If you look at the games that Karis LeVert has had against Xavier, a very, very good team this year. 29 points, 7 boards. He's 48 points away from 1,000. He had a great game against Northern Michigan, 18 points, 5 assists. It's a very all-around talent that LeVert brings, and that's why it's hard to prepare, because you don't know, as a ball handler, will he shoot, will he give it up? And you got to stay close to him.
Robinson still looking for his first field goal. The kick out this time to Fountain. So back-to-back threes now for Houston Baptist. They cut the lead to 21-14.
I like the way that they are attacking the middle of the paint, and the shooters, Fountain, his hands and feet were ready to receive that ball and shoot it, because you're not going to get a lot of time. If you're open, you better take what they give you.
LeVert. Again, this is a focus this year, the freedom of movement. Caleb Creighton whistled for the foul.
There's Doyle coming on the cleanup, and you see he's able to catch the ball midair, keep it up high, and the finish off the steal from Karis LeVert. Triple-double waiting to happen.
Irvin with the take.
Unless you have help side from the wing or a post player steps up, that weave with that hard drive, taking that angle off the left hand, it's hard to stop. And Zach Irvin, not a small guy either, 6'6".
First 2 of the day for Zach Irvin. Another 3 attempts. Houston Baptist is 3 for 3 from back there.
Got to get hot, got to get some stops, and got to get hot. So the two sometimes play into each other.
Down by as many as 13. The 3 can get you back in the game awfully quickly. And we have an illegal screen call on Ricky Doyle. That is his first. Karis LeVert, the only player in double figures here so far for Michigan. He's got to lead them this afternoon, and doing it so far. Only missed 1 shot here at the Chrysler Center. Not as fun for the Michigan fans in the last few minutes. The Wolverines had a 13-point advantage. That has now been whittled down to 23-17. Hey, tonight, great football, 8 Eastern on ABC. It's the Dr. Pepper ACC Championship game, 10th ranked North Carolina against #1 Clemson. A spot in the college football playoff on the line. Again, coverage begins at 8 Eastern on ABC. Again, also streaming on Watch ESPN. Lots of good football to be had here today. Michigan fans will be watching the Big Ten Championship later between Michigan State and Iowa, I'm sure. Under 7 to play here in this first half. The 3-point shooting, one of the differences here in the first half as Dawkins rings it up from deep.
Well, you call for better help side against the weave and the drive. You get it, and Zach Irvin just dumps it out to Aubrey Dawkins for a 3. You make your one adjustment, and Michigan says, okay, well, we'll just do the next thing, and we'll knock down the 3.
The pull-up for Creighton, and the bucket counts. Caleb Creighton, one of the seniors, the only 4-year senior out of the 3 on this roster, coming off the bench and producing.
Again, you got to find the one opening you've got, and if you feel good, you got to pull up and try to take that jumper. And Caleb Creighton, his minutes have been kind of decreasing since the season started, so a good time to be out here. 6 minutes left. Relatively close game. Just continue to play this way, be unselfish and look for your shots.
LeVert whistled for his first. And the first free throw attempt for Houston Baptist today. Abdul-Rahman and LeVert again running things for Michigan. No Derek Walton Jr. out with the ankle injury today. Another late shot clock opportunity for Michigan. 4 on the shot clock and a travel.
Yeah, that was a lost possession for the Wolverines. I'd imagine Dawkins will come out for that turnover. He will.
John Beilein was concerned about this game, concerned about a letdown. It was almost a year ago, December 6, 2014, when Michigan, ranked 17th in the country, lost to NJIT. The difference in that game, NJIT made 11 of 17 threes. If you're going to upset a team, doing that is exactly how you do it. Right on cue, Stickler with another.
That's got to make John Beilein a little nervous. And here you are, you build a quick lead in the first half. And the last thing you want is for this team to get hot shooting and keep their confidence around in these early season non-conference matchups. And we've seen some other teams, big teams, go down this year. Michigan's been able to avoid that.
From the corner, it's Robinson. Duncan Robinson still looking for his first few points. And a travel.
Another 3 from Houston Baptist. And Stickler gonna hit that. And again, this guy hasn't scored the last 2 games. He had gone 0 for his last 15 after going 4 for 7 against San Diego State. Having a nice afternoon. A perfect 4-4 from the floor.
Yeah, Houston Baptist has not missed from back there. Part of the reason why they've cut into the Michigan lead that was 21-8 at 9:33 in the first half.
You've got the 6'8" Robinson right now, sticking on a 6'4" Stickler, trying to keep him from shooting that next 3.
Odunsi has been quiet. Taken 2 shots, made both of them. Lead now cut to 2. LeVert from the corner. A big shot from Michigan's big player.
I think you'll sense that at any given time with this Wolverines team, especially with Derek Walton Jr. out of the game, they're going to look to Karis LeVert and say, you ready to take this thing over yet? And LeVert will do that. I think he's got a great sense about him when his importance is needed to score, to pass, to turn up that defensive intensity. He's got a great pulse on the guys in this team.
That bucket ended a 7-0 run in the last 2 minutes of play. Now 4 to shoot. The block from Robinson. LeVert, Abdul-Rahman to Robinson.
Great team ball, way to be unselfish. Next guy up, and it starts from a turnover.
Robinson's first points come on the layup. 0 for 4 shooting before that. Stickler, the step back, too strong. LeVert wants to push. Robinson has it. There's the 3 we've been waiting for.
So it ends in a 3 for Duncan Robinson, but Karis LeVert on one end, he hits a 3 here. He's responsible for this assist, and the pretty 3 from Duncan Robinson.
Brendan, thank you very much. Yeah, Michigan on an 8-0 run. Just as Houston Baptist cut the lead to 2, Michigan answered with a run of its own.
And a lot of it came again from Karis LeVert. He's out there forcing double teams defensively, grabbing the rebound, leading the break, and then finding the open man. You know, or he's taking the shot himself. I mean, he really embodies senior leadership for this Wolverines club. That your 2-point guards, Derek Walton Jr. out with an ankle injury. Spike Albrecht coming back from double surgery on his hips. You really have to play a 1-2 role in addition to being the best scorer on the team and that leadership, that voice out there. He's going to need some help eventually, though. He's going to need more of these guys to be vocal, to be out there taking that alpha dog role.
Seven to shoot, down low to Robinson, gets it taken away.
Had Robinson just turned over his right shoulder, he could have used his left hand, and he would have had a wide open look at the bucket.
Isaiah Robinson getting a lot of playing time. Josh Ibarra out with foul trouble. And Cody Stetler not playing today for Houston Baptist because of an injury. Six to shoot. Levert, that's a three if it falls. Michigan will take its time. 2 minutes to play in the first. Zach Irvin called with a little push-off. Again, we've seen a couple calls that exemplify this freedom of movement emphasis this year. It's Irvin's first.
Have to be hypersensitive about the amount of contact, both as an offensive player you give as you have the ball, and where you could push off before, maybe extend that forearm just a little bit. They're looking for it this year. You gotta back off. And if there's any kind of touch, you're trying to impede a player's progress, that freedom of movement, these are the type of calls that are going to be made.
That is the second on Wagner. Mo Wagner, the last 3 games, 19 points against Charlotte, 7 points against Texas, 8 points against NC State. He's really been a scoring punch off the bench.
And he prefers to go by Wagner, not Wagner, correct? Because that's the German pronunciation. Got to get the man's name right.
Sunday at noon Eastern on ESPNU, it's the NCAA Women's College Cup Championship presented by Northwestern Mutual. Duke and Penn State will play for the title. Duke upsetting Florida State.
No Notre Dame, North Carolina dynasty anymore?
Yeah,
is that run over?
They're good, but you're not going to see them this weekend.
Maybe next year.
Irving with 7 on the shot clock. What a block by Lasher. Gets it right back, and the answer from deep. How about that?
I like that. I like that. Give it to me again. I'm going to take it one more time. And I believe that Coulter Lasher got a piece of that ball on the three-point attempt.
Persistence pays off for Zach Irvin with the 3. Under a minute to play, and another travel for Houston Baptist. Make it 10 turnovers this half, but take another look at Irvin.
Here's the first shot. It gets blocked by Lasher. And the trajectory of the ball doesn't change that much. You can't confirm if Lasher got a piece of it, but I just like the moxie from Irvin to say, give me that ball again. I'm taking a 3 this time instead of a 2.
About a 3-second differential. Game clock to shot clock. Odunsi, he's been quiet this half, makes the money bucket from the top of the key. 5.5. The spin, Abdur Rahman. Michigan has been tested in the first half. They close this half on an 11-4 run to lead 37-28. Let's join Brendan Fitzgerald and Dino Gaudio in the studio for the ESPNU. Welcome back to Ann Arbor, Michigan, where Michigan leads Houston Baptist at the half. Part of Jimmy V Week for Cancer Research on ESPN as we continue our commitment to the V Foundation and Jim Valvano's dream to defeat cancer. Brooke Weisbrod and Lisa Byington with you. No Derek Walton Jr. for Michigan. Karis LeVert, you run our team. Well, it's been no problem in the first half.
No problem. 14 points for Karis LeVert in the first half, but as active as ever, defensively getting his hands in the lane, getting right to the rim. He was 6 of 8 from the floor, 5 of 7. So a lot of his points came just like this, getting out in the open floor, running, finishing at the rim, being aggressive. And on the other side, Houston Baptist able to knock down 4 of 5 three-pointers. That's what's keeping them in the game. Asa Cantwell with 2 of those, Jordan Stickler with 1, and Colton Lasher with 1. If Houston Baptist can continue to shoot well from the three-point side, we're going to have ourselves a game. Certainly, they have to feel somewhat comfortable only being down 9 here at the half. They're shooting well, though, 46 and 47%.
Our look at the first half stats brought to you by K Jewelers. You mentioned it, that 4 of 5 shooting from 3 has kept Houston Baptist into it. It was part of a 7-0 run in the first half that actually cut the lead to 2 when it was as large by as many as 13.
Houston Baptist going to start off in man-to-man. They had spent the majority of the first half in that 2-3 zone.
LeVert up and over. Doyle was there for the putback. Michigan comes away empty-handed in its first possession. And it will stay Houston Baptist basketball. Same starters to begin this second half as began the game. Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman getting the start in for Derek Walton Jr. Down low to Ibarra. Now those are his first points. He had to sit a majority of the first half because he picked up a couple of fouls.
And it'd be great if Houston Baptist could find him on the inside. That would pack in the Michigan defense and allow them for a few more open looks from behind the 3. Your 6'11", 250-pound sophomore center, and try to feed him.
So rebound to Anthony Odunsi.
He scored double figures the last 2 games, but go ahead and compliment it with the 3 if you got it. I still like that mode. Take it if you have
it. And wide open, Abdur-Rahman, who decides to take it to the cup. A foul on the floor.
And Houston Baptist with that interior passing, and again another bounce pass nicely inside to Josh Ibarra, who's got terrific hands. Scored in double figures the last 2 games, so you want to be able to get your center some touches. Odunsi is the leader of this team, so you know he'll take the most shots. But if you forget about your big guys, they're going to forget about you. When you need to get a screen, need to get open, they're not really incentivized to help you out. You know what I mean?
Ibarra is a top 50 recruit out of Texas. They're real high on him. Just a sophomore. The putback for Doyle, who can't put it away.
Maybe one of the improve upon moments for Michigan and their team this year, scoring inside, getting that interior presence. You know you've got a lot of three-point shooters, but you don't have traditional big men. And Ricky Doyle is versatile, but I don't know that you'd say he's my post guy. Give it in to him, let him back his way down to the basket. He's the guy that comes in after the guards come through and gets that tip in, that extra effort point. He's not a focal part of your offense.
He's your cleanup guy.
Yep.
13 to shoot. Baptist back in the 2-3 matchup. 6 to shoot. The kick out to Robinson. That's for 3. He's got a couple here today.
There's no difference in his ball fake that's in his 3, and that's what makes a good shooter so effective. Like a guy like Steph Curry, it really doesn't take much to sell the defense to make you think I'm going to shoot it. Even if you just sometimes raise your eyes toward the rim, players will bite, and he's starting to understand the art of that. He's going to get a lot of guys off their feet.
And an offensive foul called on Ibarra. Now that is his 3rd.
Here it is, just that subtle look up. It was just the head fake. Terrific looking shot.
Made 5 of them against NC State. The thing that impressed John Beilein when he was looking at him for the first time coming out of the D3 school the fact that they were playing in the semifinal, the national semifinal, and the team they were playing had a full week to prepare for him, he still put up 30+. Here's Robinson again from the corner. Look out! The kid is heating up.
You cannot rattle him, and that is also something John Beilein saw in this young man, was the spotlight of a Final Four. He didn't care if it was Division III, II, I, or whatever. Duncan Robinson performed under the bright lights, and as you can see, the shot clock runs down. He's not afraid.
Takes his time with the reverse for 2.
Just love to see players not panic in situations like that. The time's running down, but you don't have to speed up.
Robinson suddenly with 11 points, 4 of 8 shooting. 3 3-point makes. That's after starting the game 0 for 4. Odunsi. Talk about someone who has let the game come to him. Anthony Odunsi, a perfect 3 for 3 with 8 points. He's their leader. He's their leading scorer. If they have a chance to make a comeback in the second half, it's got to come through his hands. We talked about the freedom of movement and the changes. There's about 25 different rule changes, but the new rules in effect have increased the scoring. It's part of the goal in making some of those rule changes in the offseason.
And so for the first month or 2 of the start of college basketball season, I tell people this: you got to be patient. Those whistles are going to blow, but eventually the points will get on the board. Got 43 from Michigan. A lot of them coming here in the second half from Duncan Robinson. And he's cool. Give him the ball. Shot clock's running down. Even better. He'll knock it down for you.
Also known for the NC State celebration where he was running around in disbelief looking to hug someone. I think we all should have one of those Jimmy V moments. All donations benefit the V Foundation for Cancer Research. If you see someone running around with emotion, give him a hug, right? Because Jimmy V was looking for a hug at that moment.
Full of life, and that's what you want out of your coach. And just seeing the way that he interacted with people, you know, on an everyday basis, inside restaurants, the charisma that he had, that's what everybody bought into. He was an amazing basketball coach, but it was him that everybody loved.
4 to shoot. Karis LeVert draws the foul on Caleb Creighton. That is his second.
Karis LeVert, a lot in his arsenal here, and just a physical player, so he's going to continue to back down Creighton, who's a few inches shorter than him. And of course, enough contact, as you know, with these freedom of movement rules, you can create a little bit, you're going to get the whistle blown for you.
We showed you about how some of the rule changes have actually increased possessions in the men's game. They've increased scoring production as well this year.
I like the 30-second shot clock. I think that really helps a lot. 35 is it's way too much. What would be great to me is to have the same set of rules from top to bottom, from professional to grade school. That way you're learning the exact same game as you come up and you understand timing. I mean, high school should have shot clocks.
The tip on the Stickler shot. Michigan back the other way. From the baseline, it's Irvin with the reverse. Largest lead of the game tonight.
Zach Irvin coming off back surgery over the summer. He had 12 against Charlotte, 13 against Texas. He started the last 5 games. You're starting to see his mobility come on.
The turnaround from Ibarra draws the foul on Doyle. That is Doyle's second. 2 true big men. You talked about how that doesn't exist. We have a matchup here today that we can watch.
Good spin move. You see Doyle doing everything he can to just body up and stay straight up against Ibarra. See the entrance of Spike Albrecht now. Everybody's happy to see this man back out here on the floor. 113 career games.
Only played 3 minutes in the first half. There was a potential of seeing as many as 20 minutes here today, John Beilein said, since Derek Walton Jr. is out with the ankle injury today. The emphasis with Albrecht is, of course, the rehab, and we have a foul call on Creighton again. So a couple of fouls he's picked up. He's now has 3. Here's a look at Derek Walton Jr. A pass first, shoot second point guard. So now they have Karis LeVert as the lead guard. And John Beilein talked about yesterday how they've had to try to figure out what did they run for Trey Burke, who is a little bit of a similar mentality.
You have to have sets specifically designed so that, you know, offensively you can keep him in the game and say, this is your opportunity to score. It keeps you fresh, and it keeps you in that mentality to say, I don't need to just distribute. I got to get my points in too, because my teammates are counting on those for me. You can be too unselfish.
Albrecht, his first attempt, no go. Doyle with the offensive board. He wants to put it back, kicks it out instead. Doyle wanted that one down on the block.
Now, if you're smart, you try to find him. But instead, you're going to hit the 3 from Duncan Robinson. Not a bad second choice. But you need to give Doyle that basketball. He worked hard for that offensive rebound, and that's where Spike or Karis, you got to remember those little pieces and reward your big man for working hard.
Doyle has now, or Robinson has now knocked down 4 deep balls. He's now 4 of 8 shooting today.
You know, I did a few Snapchats with him before the game. I think that might have something to do with it. Might have been a good luck piece.
So it's you that we can credit.
Sure. Hey, you said it, not me. I'll take credit.
You were not there when he hit 5 against NC State. Michigan off and running. LeVert. He'll go to the free throw line.
You feel the energy level picking up for Michigan. Here's Robinson. You see his form. I mean, when Spike Albrecht passes him the ball, it doesn't take long for him just to catch in position and has that beautiful three-point looking shot that looks the same as from there, from mid-range, close up. And this is going to be a name everybody's going to know by the end of the season.
Robinson and LeVert are your 2 players in double figures for either team. LeVert now with 18. Six of the 18 coming from the free throw line. Baseline drive. Duncan Robinson with the body. Chukwujekwu, as we had mentioned, getting his 2nd straight start for Houston Baptist. A 6'3" guard is a good rebounder. Not necessarily a scorer, but averages the 2nd most rebounds on the team at 5.1.
And that helps. And Coach Control telling us yesterday it's Odunsi, Revere, and Coulter Lasher that have to be the main scorers for this team. And the other guys come in with offensive rebounds and defense and hustle. And I'd like to see a little more actually out of Anthony Odunsi here in the 2nd half. Not in the game at the moment.
Robinson off the bounce, the kick out to Irvin. Down low to Wagner, draws the foul on Robinson.
You see Mo Wagner, the 6'10" freshman from Berlin. A lot of confidence to his game. I'm a big soccer fan, saw him out here kind of dribbling with his feet anyways, the basketball before the game. He's got a lot of sensibility to how his feet move, to the catch and shoot. He's a freshman, so there's a lot of upside to his game. And John Beilein feels like at times he's been trying to do a little too much. Certainly understandable when you're a freshman, you want to do everything.
Had the choice between playing college basketball or going pro in Germany, and he watched Michigan play in the NCAA tournament, and it's one of the 2013 and 2014 runs. Break in action is an official review.
So we said a timing error. Get that straightened out for you. Back to action here pretty quickly.
They can go to the scorer's table for any timing correction. And Wagner has been waiting his turn for his first free throw attempt. first miss of the day for Michigan. John Beilein was tipped off on Wagner, wrote him an email, and that initial email actually went to Wagner's spam account. So Wagner didn't get back to him immediately.
Well, I guess eventually he must have checked it. Good thing he did.
It was many days later. And John Beilein, at one point in the first game of the season, was thinking of redshirting Wagner, but then saw his potential and how much he could add to the team this year. That didn't last long. Played him in the second half of the first game.
Yeah, I'm guessing John Beilein's not like direct messaging Wagner on Instagram. Nothing like that, right?
I don't
Probably
think so.
old-fashioned email or phone call will do.
Lead has been stretched out to 19 now for Michigan. You're just joining us. Houston Baptist made a run in the first half, cut the lead down to 2.
First half, they were able to penetrate and kick for some open threes and knock them down. But in the second half, Michigan has extended their defense through man-to-man beyond the three-point line, and Houston Baptist has not had the same looks they had in the first half. This is very similar to the start of the game, where they could not get anything going.
Albrecht on the break. Abdur-Rahman with the finish.
I expected Albrecht to take that shot. It's good court awareness there from Abdur-Rahman. Keep his eyes on Spike while he's taking that drive.
4 now for Abdur-Rahman. A turnover, another one for Houston Baptist. Albrecht again leading the break. Duncan from the corner. Duncan Robinson. Mr. Robinson likes it from back there.
If I got the ball in my hands and I'm a Michigan player, you better believe I'm looking for the 22-man to say, give me an assist, brother. Knocks it down for match.
ESPN, but with Kentucky losing and Maryland losing this week, you got to wonder, with Michigan State winning today, are the Spartans going to be the new #1?
You know, you got to consider all this, especially just the talent of the Big Ten this year. It's very strong. Maryland continues to get better. Really like the game of Melo Trimble. UConn, a tough team too. 4 averaging double figures right now for Kevin Ollie's squad. I'm just not a big fan of, you know, somebody sitting in the 1, 2, and 3 position all season long in college basketball. Like, that's
you
boring
gotta mix it up
me.
a little bit.
Yeah. And I think John Calipari is maybe no coach is ever happy when you lose, but to do it this early in the season against a team like UCLA, an established, go out west, hey, you got to learn something from here. Maybe Houston Baptist learning something from Michigan. They got a big-time lead here at the Chrysler.
Also, watch ESPN. Should be a good one.
Again, got to burn up that data on my phone. I'll be in the car too long. Maybe,
Burn up the data.
you know, it's worth the expense. Maybe I can expense it.
Chukwu with the take, draws the foul on Robinson.
Michigan foul on number 3, Cameron Chapman. That's his 3rd team.
Excuse me, Chapman, that is his 3rd.
Shoot 2 for Houston Baptist is number 15, Reveal Chukwu.
Chukwu still looking for his first points today. And he gets it.
Houston Baptist going to fall back into a man-to-man now. We've seen them change defenses pretty often here in this game. I feel like they were a little more effective on the zone. A terrific rebound. That's that skill you were talking about from Reveal. He really gets up there. And strong rebounding guard.
Looking inside to Ibarra. The jump hook. Nice touch.
And that's a easier score than trying to work the ball all around the outside, looking for a three-point shot. You can push it a bit. You can get those buckets, those quick hitters. Finding Josh Ibarra, who's 2nd in the Southland Conference in field goal percentage.
Down low to Robinson. A perfect 5 for 5 this half has really been the spark for Michigan in the second.
And when you run out on him and expect him to shoot a 3, that's when he can beat you backdoor and understand those kind of concepts. Good move. Got to be able to finish that. slid off the hands of Ibarra before he could let the ball go through his fingertips.
Ibarra's been playing with some foul trouble today. Picked up a couple of fouls in the first half, had to sit a majority of the first half. Picked up a quick third foul, so had to sit. Back in with now 10 minutes to go. Travel on Chapman. And Michigan had 0 turnovers this half. That is the first in the second. They've been taking care of the basketball.
Getting back to Michigan ways under John Beilein. This team led the nation in the fewest fouls and turnovers in that 2013 season.
Anthony Oglisi is still perfect on the day. 10 points now, perfect 4 for 4 from the floor. Abdur-Rahman for 3. Out to Cantwell, who answers on the other end.
Asa Cantwell with a 3-point basket.
9 points, all have come from behind the arc. John Beilein wants to talk about it. He saw Houston Baptist make a little bit of a run in the first half thanks to the 3. He wants to quash that here in the second half.
Always time for defensive adjustments, and you certainly don't want anybody getting that open of a look as Cantwell did to hit that 3. Even with an 18-point lead, John Beilein going to take the opportunities he needs to tighten up every bit of his defense. There are technical parts that you need to hit in the early parts of the season. You got to get right, because once conference play hits, you don't have a lot of time to go back and teach moments. You have a game every other day. It's about getting your rest, about moving on. And this Michigan team, when I look at the guys here on the floor, I see an incredible amount of talent, a lot of athleticism, but it's still a little bit unrefined to me. The passes could be sharper, the ball handling could be tighter.
Again, John Beilein was concerned about a letdown. He did his own research last year coming out of the ACC Big Ten Challenge. And he said the 5 teams that won in that challenge lost on Saturday because of a letdown.
You want to make another Final Four run? There is not a possession available for a letdown.
And he did that research on his own. I didn't double check on his research, so I'm trusting Coach Beilein on that one.
You're one-sourcing it now. You better be careful.
LeVert off and running. Gets the bucket and the foul, and count it.
Immediately after a timeout, you come out with stronger defense. Good help side there from DJ Wilson. Straight up, and that leads to the run out for Karis LeVert.
The foul going against Asa Cantwell, his first. And LeVert still a perfect 7 for 7. 21 points on the day.
And has there been a time where you felt he's forced one shot today?
No.
Everything has come very natural. The game came right to him. He picked his points to be aggressive and pass when he needed to. It's a nice take there from Chukwu Jekwu. Guy's got confidence and ups.
Abdur-Rahman creating left side off of the spin move.
Beautiful move and awareness as you get down in the paint to do a spin move, then locate the rim again and finish with your left hand.
(65-44) as we'll take our under 8 timeout. Abdur-Rahman going to work. Spin cycle move is good. 10 ACC Challenge. And how about UNLV with an upset of its own over a top 15 Oregon team?
You know, we had mentioned, you know, some of the bigger teams to fall early on this season, but that, of course, is two very brand name teams, and UCLA and Kentucky play. And I think the loss will make Kentucky a little angrier. You know, a lot of young guys, of course, Jamal Murray, Scal Labissiere, and John Calipari saying, hey, you know, I've got 19-year-olds on my team. These kind of things are supposed to happen. We're supposed to lose.
John Calipari also said we got our brains beat in.
Yeah.
They shot a season worst 38% in that game.
I just like that he's not shy about being very realistic of people giving love all the time, right? And then he'll come back to say, no, here's where we need to improve. A, B, C, and D. Like, he's not a guy that's going to take praise and just soak all that in. He's a realist. He understands he's got young guys, that they have a long way to go. I mean, athletically, again, Kentucky's a team that is just beyond the charts. But their fundamentals need to get tighter.
Shy and introverted are not two words you would use to describe John Calipari. Michigan down low to DJ Wilson. The block, Levert and Dawkins were both there and ready.
Aubrey Dawkins has been waiting for a moment to come back in and make up for the earlier travel that got him out of the game.
Odunsi. And a turnover there for Houston Baptist. $14 on the day for the Huskies. Much like Michigan, they've done a better job in the second half taking care of the basketball.
You see the kind of defense Houston Baptist is playing. Really packed in 2-3, trying to force Michigan to beat them from the outside, especially with Duncan Robinson out of the game. But at this point, big hill to climb for Houston Baptist, and Michigan continuing to get very easy open looks. Houston Baptist, no fast break points, no second chance looks. It's been one and done.
This year, Karis LeVert has scored in double figures every single game. In fact, before he got hurt last year, he's on a run of 12 straight if you include last year to today's game in double figure scoring, and he is a perfect from the free throw line today.
It's also pretty amazing to think he signs with Ohio University, released after John Gross took the job at Illinois, and here we are talking about him as a potential National Player of the Year. It's a smart move coming to Michigan.
LeVert with the right hand. Back-to-back years, he's had surgeries on his feet. Decided to come back his senior year. Odunsi with the take. Houston Baptist still alive, and Dawkins from behind.
It was Chukwu Jakwu who ended up with the offensive rebound for Houston Baptist, but no defense there. You and I could have scored in that play.
Don't overestimate our ability.
I could score in that play then. I won't speak for you. But I know I could.
Back in the game now, here Wolverines is number 30.
Mark Donald coming in. And DJ Wilson will take a seat. Donald, part of really what has been at the beginning of the year, a three-man rotation between Doyle and Wagner down low, did not play in the game against NC State.
Wilson has a big upside, a 7'3" wingspan. He's got defensive awareness, which doesn't come a lot, especially for freshmen. But with the size and 240 pounds, and he starts to understand the basics of defense, and I believe that's what John Beilein was addressing with him just as he took him out.
Lasher with the board. Here comes Odunsi. A block from Levert. Michigan on the transition. Odunsi slowed things down.
Just defense here again. Karis LeVert is so active and so skilled at keeping the ball inbounds. You just keep your eyes glued to that man when he's got the ball in his hands, waiting for him to do something special. And over on the sideline, John Beeline pulled Aubrey Dawkins close to him. I believe it was because he wasn't able to secure that rebound before, had it ripped away from Houston Baptist. And I saw Beeline just kind of shake his head, walk up and down the bench. And that right there is a teaching moment. You grab that ball off the rim, slap it with your hands, and don't let anybody rip it out.
Meanwhile, that's Levert's first miss. He's gotten to the free throw line 10 times today, has only missed once. Four to shoot. Lasher, the pull-up. He went up and got that one. Levert, the kick out to Zach Irvin in the corner. Another rebound for Levert. .25 points, 8 boards for Karis LeVert. Into the hands of Donald, and Ibarra stuffed him.
There's so many odd possessions in this game. In the half court, there's times where it feels like I'm watching slow motion basketball and they're trying to get out and run, but give some credit to these guys. I'm sure you're seeing the last of Karis LeVert in his day. Much defensively here too. Houston Baptist, Lasher, the block here, and then of course Ibarra comes in with the big time, but heads are down. These guys are tired. This is their, for Michigan, they've been on the road for a few weeks. Houston Baptist, 4 games in 1 week. You know, I always say they're 18 to 22-year-olds, they can handle it, but, you know, at some point in time, your legs are going to get tired. And I believe this is what we're seeing.
We have a 5 games and 9-day stretch for Houston Baptist. Michigan has been on the road for the last 4, and Ibarra is going to get called for his 4th. Michigan.
Brandon Fitzgerald in studio, awaiting kickoff of the SWAC championship game. Winner goes to the inaugural Celebration Bowl. Warren Gatewood and the Braves of Alcorn State taking on Grambling. That's next. Back to Ann Arbor.
All right, Brendan, thank you very much. Michigan well in control, a 21-point lead over Houston Baptist. In fact, Big Ten fans, it's been a pretty good basketball season here so far. Michigan State winning the Wooden Legacy. 3 teams in terms of ranking in the top 25, and Maryland wins the Cancun Challenge. Maryland and Michigan State, of course, ranked really the 2 highest Big Ten teams.
Michigan State this year, never a sleeper team, but Denzel Valentine and what he's been able to do already. I mean, we talk about Karis LeVert being a triple-double threat. I mean, Denzel Valentine has been the man for Michigan State. And keep your eye on Purdue. They're ranked 11th, so they're somewhat in people's mindsets. But Isaac Haas, the returning sophomore, one of the centers for Purdue, has lost about 25 pounds, and the man looks like a real-life Ivan Drago. From Rocky IV, I will break you, Ivan Drago. He's a big guy.
You had that accent down perfectly.
Like
Maryland coming off a win against St. Francis last night. Mark Turgeon has said even though we lost to Carolina, he liked the way his team had played. Michigan State with a win here today. You saw it on the U against Binghamton. Question, with Michigan State maybe be ranked #1 in the country with losses to Maryland and Kentucky this week. Three and a half to play here in Ann Arbor. Odunsi off the glass in. Odunsi now with 12. Odunsi coming off a career-high 26 against Rice. An important game for Houston Baptist. It was the 3rd time they beat Rice. A big rivalry game down in Texas. Dunsi playing in his 4th school in 5 years. 5 to shoot for Michigan. Robinson with the fadeaway. Duncan Robinson with the 19 points has tied a season high. Ibarra with the turnaround. Couple of players in double figures now. Ibarra with 10, Odunsi with 12 for Houston Baptist. Let's go back and look at it.
Here again, Josh Ibarra, who used that right and left shoulders today to make his moves. You can see he's got some great movement and some footwork to him for being 6'11", 250 pounds. Just when you look at a Michigan roster, and Ron Control told us this yesterday, he said, okay, I understand they've got a 1 and a 5, but 2 through 4 are extremely interchangeable. You don't know how to guard them. You don't have enough matchups. There's Aubrey Dawkins getting a pull-up jumper. It's got to feel good.
Odunsi with the take.
There's Dawkins off the crossover. Hesitation up against 3 Houston Baptist defenders, still trying to get a few points here on the board.
Three-point play is good for Anthony Odunsi.
These last 2 minutes here, Lisa, even though Michigan's up, they're going to win. You've got key guys out here on the floor. This is kind of your key reserve squad, maybe with the exception of Dawkins, who's a regular starter, but this will earn you minutes. You play well here in these last 2 minutes, and that's what Dawkins is trying to do. You know, in my opinion, he's playing to keep his starting spot over Robinson, because the kind of game that man had today, it's going to be hard eventually to keep him out of the lineup. But I think Beeline really likes to have him as a 6-man to come in and loosen up that offense when they need it.
It's a nice problem to have. Dawkins so far has started every game for Michigan, putting up some points as of late, 12 now today. Lasher whistled for the foul. Michigan and John Beilein again playing without Derek Walton Jr. today, out with the ankle injury. Wanted to rest him. Didn't practice yesterday. Went through rehab. I saw him in the athletic training facility, rehabbing all afternoon long. Now Tuesday, Michigan has a big matchup against Southern Methodist. John Beilein said yesterday he wasn't sure if Derek Walton Jr. would be healthy enough to play in that game, but certainly the best step right now is to rest him here today.
Got to be able to keep up step for step with Nick Moore, maybe one of, if not the best guard in the American Athletic Conference. Those are the kind of non-conference wins you look back and you're proud of. Of course, SMU unable to compete in postseason play this year. NCAA violations.
Chukwujekwu with the foul.
That's his second.
His second, and that'll send Dawkins to the line. Go back to what you said about Dawkins and Robinson. Do you like having a spark off the bench that you can rely on, though, in a Duncan Robinson?
I think you have to have that. You've got a consistent shooter and a scorer in Dawkins. And Robinson is somewhat getting his footing, although to me he looks pretty comfortable anytime he steps out on the floor. I think to use him as a 6-man is a terrific weapon and something great to have for John Beilein, but I could easily see him as a starter.
Hasn't started yet in his career here at Michigan. But a solid game again, 19 points, a majority of those coming in the second half.
And you see here that great effort from Aubrey Dawkins.
DJ Wilson!
That's what you want to see. And Aubrey Dawkins, that's the reason that man starts the game. You see that second and third chance effort, his defense, really keeping that ball alive and finding DJ Wilson with the dunk.
Stickler with the bucket. Michigan took care of the basketball in the second half. Only one turnover in the final 20 minutes. Wolverines will now improve to 6-2. Houston Baptist will fall to 2-6. How about that?
Why not?
For a period on the day.
Remember that turnover I had? Remember the mishandled rebound? Of course you don't. I just hit a three. I'm all good. He made up for it.
Aubrey Dawkins, a scoring machine down the stretch for John Beilein and company. They have a big one coming up Tuesday against Southern Methodist, but they get the W without their point guard, Derek Walton Jr. playing today.
Terrific game from Ferris LeVert, Duncan Robinson. The offense was there, and defensively, Michigan starting to get a little more put together, a little more organized.
Our final score, Michigan 82, Houston Baptist 57. Coming up next on ESPNU, college football primetime presented by McDonald's. Grambling versus Alcorn State in the SWAC championship game. We'll be back with more, but from Ann Arbor in a moment. For now, let's send it to you in the studio.